We have NBA analyst Jay Williams joining us now, and we didn't show it right there. But hey, what up, Jay? We did have a really good game, obviously, between the Rockets and the Clippers. James Harden, great performance, okay? He went for 47 in the win over the Clippers. This Houston team, as you know, plays at the fastest pace of any team in the West after playing one of the slowest seasons ago. But how convinced are you that this particular offense is the answer to get them over that hump and into the finals?
Look, this offense is prolific throughout the regular season. I don't know if it's conducive to them getting to the NBA Finals. Their defense has to get better. They ranked last in defense a couple of weeks ago. Now they've inched up to 26th in defense. But still, when you have guys like last night, one of the things people don't talk about, Russell Westbrook had 4 fouls in the first quarter. And that's how scary James Harden could be as an offensive, prolific player. He could single-handedly carry a team to the promised land. They just need to hit on all cylinders in order for that to happen.
They're certainly getting more possessions because they don't play any defense, so they're being more efficient, at least on that front. I want to go to the other side of that matchup, that being the Clippers. Paul George likely to make his debut tonight against the Pelicans. How's he going to change the dynamic on both sides of the ball?
The Clippers need him. You know, this whole first couple weeks of the season, everybody's been talking about the Clippers being the best defense in the league. If you look, they're not top 5 defense in the league. Miami's ranked over them, okay? Milwaukee's ranked over them. Orlando is ranked over them. So they're 10th now in defense, and you saw that last night. Russell Westbrook, 4 fouls in the first quarter. How the hell is James Harden single-handedly allowed to beat this team when you have Kawhi Leonard, who didn't guard James Harden last night? He guarded more PJ Tucker. So now you bring Paul George back to the table. This makes him way more dynamic defensively, able to make those switches. And now you have 2 major wing defenders and a guy who last year, by the way, was top 3, top 4 in the MVP voting. So it makes a world of a difference for a Clipper team that desperately needs a guy like Paul George.
Yeah, I need him on that offense, too. They've been held to under 100 points in consecutive games for the first time since 2018 of last year. Small sample size. We're just a couple weeks into the season. Any early storylines that you're watching, Jay?
You know, I look at a team like Miami that is obviously playing extremely well, and you guys just made mention of it. I go to Minnesota. Minnesota's ranked, I mean, granted, it's early in the season, 6th in the West. Andrew Wiggins has really stepped up. You know what they should do? They should always make sure that he's voted outside the top 100 players in the league. Because if it gives him this kind of motivation to play the way he is finally playing right now, this is the Andrew Wiggins we've all been waiting to see. This is the Andrew Wiggins, along paired with Karl-Anthony Towns, that's actually playing mean, that's actually getting in fights with random people throughout the course of the season. This is the Minnesota Timberwolves we've been dying to see for the past 4 or 5 years.
Wow, a professional athlete motivated with a chip on their shoulder? Never heard of it. Jay Will joining us here on SportsCenter to break down the
players that we've assembled, but we also have to acknowledge that we haven't played at the level we expected to play at.
So let me get this straight. The president of basketball operations for the New York Knicks holds an impromptu press conference to announce to the basketball world that the New York Knicks have not played to the level they expected to. Needless to say, Steve Mills is standing on an island all by himself because almost anybody else who's knowledgeable about basketball absolutely expected the New York Knicks to look exactly the way that they looked. So it made no sense whatsoever to hold an impromptu press conference. As far as I'm concerned, he basically fired David Fizdale without telling him he's fired and without telling us that he's fired. That's basically a perspective that I think will ring true, but nobody knows it better than my next guest, the ultimate insider himself, Adrian Wojnarowski, who actually talked a lot and broke a lot of news about this New York Knicks situation. Tell us the latest, Woj. What do you think Fizdale's fate is in New York City?
Stephen, I think his dismissal is inevitable, barring a dramatic turnaround right now. And you said it there, Stephen, to hold a news conference while your head coach is still in the locker room with his team, hasn't even left yet to come to his press conference. And Fizdale finds out when he walks out that management is in there, essentially criticizing the execution of his players, the effort. And in that moment, I think there was a trust broken that is going to make it really difficult for Fizdale to be able to be in that position long term. And this is a Knicks team that is not constructed to win in the short term. And, you're looking at that roster for prospects in the long term. They're in a dark place right now. And, David Fizdale, as in a long line of Knicks coaches, is headed toward being the fall guy, at least the first fall guy for the failures of this Knicks team.
Let's transition to an elevated level of basketball. Let's go to Los Angeles, California, the Los Angeles Lakers, specifically Anthony Davis. Although he's been playing lights out, averaging about 26 and 10 with 3 blocks per game, obviously that shoulder injury appears to be bothering him a lot. What can you tell us about those developments? He's clearly not expected to play tonight. Anything else you can give us about Anthony Davis?
Stephen, he's going to be out tonight. It's possible he could miss another game. This is a day-to-day injury, but this is not long-term. I think one of the things Anthony Davis has really wanted to show people this season is that he's not fragile and that he doesn't want to miss games, and he's determined to be on the court as much as possible, but certainly they don't need him playing hurt or in pain, but they expect to have Anthony Davis back soon.
Adrian Wojnarowski, the most through 10 games in his entire career. Overall, no team has ever made more threes through 10 games than this year's Rockets with 157. I sat down with the Beard yesterday and asked him about his game, Russell Westbrook, and the Houston Rockets' title chances.
The best scorer of his generation.
Equally deadly from all spots on the floor, James Harden.
When people talk about your game, what is it about their critique of your game that you believe people don't get right, that they've misconstrued, that they've gotten wrong?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah, or he's looking for foul calls, or he flops, or this style of play can't win, or, well, in the system of basketball, well, if a team is running an offense, who do you want to have the ball in your hands in the game or through the game? Your best player.
I do watch you, seeing how unstoppable you are as a one-on-one player.
Yeah.
And what I say consistently is that in a best 4 of 7, you're going to need more than that in order to win the championship eventually. To that, you say what?
You look at 2 years ago, we played one-on-one ISO ball, and we were a game away from the finals. Last year, our roster, we just didn't have enough. So it's not about me one-on-one. It's not about our system and our style of play. Like, in order to win or have an opportunity to win this league, you got to have players and you got to have talent. And last year, we just didn't have enough. 2 years ago, we had a chance. Fortunate injuries happened, and this year, we're going to run it again.
Last year, after you had lost to the Golden State Warriors, it was the 4th time 5 years that you got.
And we're not losing to no regular team.
That's right.
So, I mean, what you want me to do?
Right.
Don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now.
So far this season, when you talk about Russell Westbrook being a member of this team, what kind of adjustment, if any, have you specifically had to make?
I haven't made any. Obviously, I try to find spots for us to get him going or whatnot. And I just try to put myself in his shoes. He's obviously had a franchise for the last 12 years, so I don't want to make it. I want to make it as comfortable for him as I can, and then I'll just figure everything else out, which normally happens. But it's only, like I said, it's been 10 games, so far so good. He bring a different dynamic, something that I haven't had since obviously I was in Oklahoma City.
Steal, and Westbrook is on the freeway. Russell Westbrook has taken over the game.
That's on the court. Off the court, it's just different. I've been knowing Russ since I was 10 years old, so he brings that energy and that friendship that can carry on the court as well.
You saw Kawhi Leonard and Paul George go to the Los Angeles Clippers. You saw LeBron get AD added to the Lakers. Houston appeared to be an afterthought.
Nobody's really talking about us. They're talking about them 2 teams in LA. And so, and the team in Milwaukee. We playing it cool.
Do you like it that way?
Yeah, I love it that way.
You like people quiet, not talking about y'all at all?
I love it.
Because?
Underdogs. Nobody, let them talk about them. We don't need no attention.
In my opinion, this is the greatest opportunity you've had to win a championship in your career in Houston.
Facts.
Do you believe that?
Facts. 100%.
Does that mean you're going to deliver?
Take advantage of the opportunity.
Are you saying you're going to do it or you need to do it?
I am. We are.
James Harden and the Houston Rockets going to win the championship.
Correct.
This year.
Let's get it. My brother.
Thank you so much.
We welcome back in Tracy McGrady right here. You heard him. He basically said, Kawhi, so what? LeBron, so what? we going to win a championship in Houston. Do you believe him? And if so, what do they have to do to get it done?
No, I do not believe him. I believe this team right here has what it takes, and I'm talking about the Clippers with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and the Clippers. I mean, I just think defensively, they where they need to be a championship team. Offensively, they need to be where they are. And for the Rockets, offensively, we know they're a great scoring team. Defensively, they're 26th in the league. That's not going to win you a championship. They got to tighten up defensively. I'm not worried about them offensively. I am worried about them defensively, though.
Appreciate you as always, man. Thanks so much. Always good talking to you. I see Kawhi Leonard and the crew warming up behind me. The Clippers are getting set. But I got something that I'm set for, okay? This is about me right now. It's not about them. Oh, no, you didn't. That's my segment.